we're going to study. Now, some people come and ask you, why study the life of the Imam alayhi salam? Why are we studying the life of Imam Sadeq? There are two answers to this. One is a general answer, and that is, it is a duty upon every Muslim to know who his or her leaders are. Just as we have to know who Rasulullah is, we have to know all of our leaders. There's a duty to have not only obedience, but ma'rifah as well. And Allah says in the Quran, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. O you people who believe, obey Allah, obey the Prophet, and obey the ulil amr, those who Allah has appointed as leaders upon you. فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. And if you are unaware who your leader is, go back to Allah and the Rasul, and Allah and the Rasul will explain to you who your leader is. إِن كُنْتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَحْسَنُ تَأْوِيلًا. So if you, the verse continues, it says, if you believe in Allah and the afterlife, then you go back to the Prophet and you go back to the Quran to understand who your leaders are. So another verse, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَةِ. Say, I do not ask you for anything except showing love to the Qurbah. Okay, who are the family of the Prophet? The family of the Prophet, one of them is Imam Sadeq alayhi salam. He is included in the circle of the family of the Prophet. Everyone, there's a hadith from the Prophet which says that everyone will be called, or excuse me, the verse in the Quran says this, يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. On the day of judgment, everyone will have to go and stand behind their Imam. Who is my Imam? I have to be able to answer. I have to know. So this is why, generally speaking, it's very important to know the Imam of our time. In another hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa he says, "Man mata wa lam ya'rif imam zamanih, mata mitatan jahiliyyah." This is a hadith that is accepted by all Muslims. He who dies and does not know the Imam of his time, dies the death of the jahiliyyah, the pagans. So here, from these hadith, we understand that we have a duty to know the lives of the Imams, to be well acquainted with the lives of our Imams. And we are going to be asked about our Imams. One of the first steps, the first time that a person is going to be asked is in the grave. As soon as the person, is placed in the grave, this is why in the Talqeen al-Mayyit, you say, if the angels come to you and ask you who your Imam is, you tell them, Fulan, Fulan, Fulan is my Imam. Because we have to know our Imams. And there are many ahadith that talk about this. In Kitab al-Kafi, Usul al-Kafi, there is a whole chapter by the name of Bab Ma'rifat al-Imam wal-Rad ilayh. The chapter of knowing who your Imam is. We have to know who our Imams are. And in that chapter, there are several hadith. I'm going to mention some of them. The first, Al-Husayn ibn Muhammad, عن معلى ibn Muhammad, عن الحسين ibn علي الوشاء, قال حدثنا محمد ibn الفضيل, عن أبي حمزة, Abu Hamza al-Thumali. He mentions from قال Abu Ja'far alayhi salam. Who's Abu Ja'far? Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. Abu Ja'far, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. So Abu Ja'far is Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. He says, إنما يعبد الله من يعرف الله. He says, the one who worships Allah is the one who knows Allah. إنما يعرف الله, إنما يعبد الله من يعرف الله. The one who truly worships Allah is the one who knows Allah. And then he says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ لَا يَعْرُفَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّمَا يَعْبُدُهُ هَكَذَا ضَلَالَهُ. The person who doesn't know Allah, this person is just worshipping out of deviance. This person doesn't know what they're worshipping. And there are many people like that. They do ruku', sujood, standing up, fasting, doing everything, but they don't even know who they're worshipping. They don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You tell them, describe to me Allah, they'll describe a body, they'll describe, something that is very far from resembling Allah the way Allah is described in the Quran. So Abu Hamza al-Thumali, he tells Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. Abu Hamza was the companion of Imam Zayn al-Abidin and the companion of Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. So he says, قُلْتُ جُعِلْتُ فِدَاكَ فَمَا مَعْرِفَةُ اللَّهِ. He says, may my soul be sacrificed for you. What is the ma'rifah of Allah? How do you know Allah? He says, قال تصديق الله عز وجل وتصديق رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وموالاة علي عليه السلام والائتمام به وبأئمة الهدى عليهم السلام. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. He says, the first, he says, تصديق الله عز وجل, believing in Allah. Believing and accepting Allah. وَتَصْدِيقُ رَسُولِهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ, and accepting the Prophet. This is, all Muslims agree to this. Find me one Muslim who says, I only believe in God and I don't believe in the Prophet. Everyone believes in the Prophet. However, believing in everything the Prophet says. Even when the Prophet says, follow Ali ibn Abi Talib after me, follow the Imams after me. So then the Imam continues, he says, وَمُوَالَاةِ عَلِيٍّ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ, and following Ali alayhi السلام, وَالِئْتِمَامِ بِهِ, and taking him as a leader, as an Imam, وَبِأَئِمَّةِ الْهُدَى عَلَيْهِمُ السَّلَامِ, and following the Imams of Huda, the Imams of guidance, after Imam Ali alayhi salam, وَالْبَرَاءَ إِلَى اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلْ مِنْ عَدُوِّهِمْ, and distancing yourself, having bara'ah from the enemies of these three categories, Allah, the Prophet, and the Imams alayhim salam. And then he says, وَهَكَذَا يُعْرَفُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلْ.